This is Bud Putman. I'm next door to Ace Hardware store at McComb's Barber Shop, fixing to get my hair cut. Come on down and get your hair cut. He does a good job. I'm going to tell you what's been going on in this long life of mine, give you a little bit of history, and I'm sure you'll be delighted. You probably don't recognize what I'm saying, but I was born in the middle of the Depression, 1930. My mother and I were supposed to both pass away within 3 days. I was a preemie baby, weighed only 3 pounds. Mama was a little tiny lady. She lived to be 86, and I'm now coming up on 83. I was born in Greenville, South Carolina, raised there till I finished high school in 1948. Weighed 107 pounds when I graduated from high school. I got me a letter in track, and I was the youngest, the lightest boy ever to get a varsity letter in track at Greenville High, 107 pounds. I started a violin at 9, quit that at 12, and got hold of a trombone and loved it. Started playing the trombone in the 7th grade and went through high school with it. Then I went to Mars Hill College, and then it was a 2-year school at that time, and then I came back to Furman and finished my degree, still playing the trombone, and music was my major, and I was going to be a band director. Then the war came along, and I had to be drafted. I got drafted right before the end of the Korean War. Went in for 2 years, had gotten married just before I went into service. Married Mary Ballinger, wonderful woman, been with me all these years. Her daddy was a hardware man. My daddy was a voice teacher at Furman University. He was at Greenville Women's College, which later became part of Furman. So I had that music background. But anyway, I went in service for 2 years, ended up in Washington, D.C. playing the trombone with a band up there. Not the band up there, but a band at one of the military posts. And then I came back and went to Florida State on a graduate program, got the GI Bill. She and I worked like crazy there for 2 years at Florida State, and I got a master's degree. Then I left Florida State and went to Greenwood and got a job at Greenwood and stayed there for 11 years. Started with 22 in the high school band, ended up in the neighborhood of 80 to 85 by the time I finished my 11 years there. Had a wonderful associate band director, Jake Razor, that worked the last 7 years I was there. But both of us left Greenwood for different reasons at that time. And I went to McCormick for 2 years, taught at McCormick, had a wonderful time there. And then I got the job in Anderson at Westside High School, and came to Anderson and been there ever since, 1972. And I taught there till I retired. Then I worked 10 years at Drazen Edwards Music, across the street from this barbershop here. And then I retired. Now I'm fully retired. I'm just fine.
We're going to have to take your head off, cut your hair now.
Oh, bother.
Let's put it over here for you. All right, how you want to do it today?
Oh, let's do it exactly like Mary wants it.
That's exactly.
All right, I came to Anderson in '72, started at Westside High School. I taught at Southwood for 3 years and then moved up to Lakeside after that. But I taught 2 schools the whole time I was here. When I retired, they got 3 people to do my job. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I did some 5K running here in Anderson. I ran for 18 years. I didn't run very fast. I wasn't very famous anything, but when you get old and you finish a race, you can win because there isn't anybody there old as you are.
Well, how old are you now?
I'll be 83 next month.
Where was the school when you started teaching?
The very first job,
No,
or
West Side.
West Side, that building was brand new when I started there.
Okay, that's when you started.
That's when I started.
That's been how long?
Like I say, 72.
South 72.
Okay, and the Southwood was Southwood Middle School. Now they've got another name for it.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of arts and so forth. And then I moved over to Lake after I taught 3 years at Southwood because I wasn't getting enough of my band students out of Lakeside to Westside. They were taking other courses. They weren't taking band.
Oh.
So I went over there and started getting them to take band from Lakeside.
Well, how many you got to have to be in the band?
You mean how many people to make a
What
band?
makes a good band?
Well, like I said, down in Greenwood, my first job, I had 23 people in the band. That's not enough.
That's not enough.
No.
Well, you got to have about 50.
50 is probably minimum in high school.
Oh, okay.
And you get up around 60 and 80, even over 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember when we was in band. Wasn't you my band director?
I was
You know this guy?
for a
I think
long
I know his name's Bud
time.
something. And I remember, you know what he did?
No.
He got the drummers. They weren't doing right. They was being aggravating. They really was. They was making noises, and Bud was talking, and he said, "You know what? Y'all be quiet." You know what? They didn't even listen to him. You know what he did?
Uh-oh.
This is a true story.
I got to hear this.
He took a music stand, and everybody else is looking at him but the drummers. And he got that music stand. He threw it. I was a trumpeter. I played the trumpet.
So one over your head.
He threw that music stand over the top of the trumpeters, between the tromboners, clarinet, and landed right in front of the drummers. And it shocked the fire out of them because they thought, what in the world is this man doing?
Well, I got their attention.
You got their
their
attention. But anyway, you know, that's one of the things that sticks out in my mind in my whole, back in my whole junior high days, is you doing that because you weren't afraid to do it. Now, nowadays, you're going to have a lawsuit.
That's right.
But back then, you could do a few things. Phil right here next to White Jones, if you need a haircut, come on over. Right now, Bud's getting a haircut, and I said, let me come and video you. He said, you don't want none of that. I said, well, you know what, let's do it anyway. Well, right here we are, Bud Putman, and you can find him, and he's going to be around forever. As long as the internet is working, Bud Putman will be alive. And he's almost 100 now. Actually, 80-something years old. 80 what?
83 next month.
83 years old.
Next month.
Next month. And Bud Putman is living his life.
A good rendition of Mama Don't Whoop Little Buford would get you right up out of bed at 6:30 in the morning.
How did that go, Mama Don't Whoop Little Buford?
Mommy don't whoop little Buford. Mommy don't pound on his head. Mommy don't whoop little Buford. We think you should shoot him instead.
That's good. All right, signing off. See ya.